Have you ever felt the world collapsing around you in failure? Or perhaps found yourself so intoxicated by victory that you completely lost your true sense of self? Reality often deceives us with fleeting emotions. Today, let us step back and listen to an ancient story about the profound impermanence that governs our human journey. We wander through the noise of the modern world, often forgetting that every peak we climb and every valley we fall into is merely a temporary passing stop. In a time long forgotten, there lived a powerful king who ruled a vast empire. Yet, despite his wealth, he sought a truth that could withstand any storm. He knew that crowns could fall and kingdoms could crumble. He carried a secret given by a sage, a wisdom hidden within the gold of his ring. Let us travel back to a night of great darkness, where the king's world was about to change forever, testing the very foundation of his weary soul. The sage had told him to only open the ring when he reached the absolute end of his path, when all hope seemed lost in the shadows. But tonight, the kingdom was lost. Enemies were at his heels, and the king was fleeing for his life through the tangled vines of a haunted woods. In this moment of absolute despair, the king felt the cold breath of failure. His prestige was gone, replaced by the bitter taste of mud and defeat. The thundering hooves of his pursuers grew louder, echoing like the heartbeat of death itself. There was no army to protect him, no walls to hide behind. He reached the end of the world. A precipice stood before him, and behind him, the shadows of his enemies were closing in with every passing second. Below lay the roaring hunger of the sea. Above, the cold indifference of the stars. The king was trapped between a certain death and an impossible escape. His fingers fumbled for the ring. This was the moment the sage had spoken of, the absolute end, the final stop where reality felt like a cruel cage. He pulled out a tiny slip of paper, weathered by time but pulsing with a strange, quiet power that seemed to push back the surrounding darkness. As the sounds of the chase faded into a dull hum, he read the words that would change his perception of existence and the nature of time. 6 simple words. This too shall pass. In that instant, the weight of the kingdom and the terror of the chase began to dissolve from his heart. He realized that this misery, this fear, and even this cliff were not permanent. They were merely a scene in a play that was constantly moving forward. Miraculously, the pursuers lost his trail in the sudden mist. The threat that felt like an ending was actually just a transition to a new beginning. He sat in silence, watching the darkness recede. The valley below, once a place of terror, now seemed like a peaceful cradle beneath the silver moonlight. As the sun rose, it brought a realization. Pain is a visitor, not a resident. When you accept the impermanence of struggle, you find the strength to endure. He walked back not as a defeated man, but as a silent observer of life. The forest was no longer a cage, but a path toward transformation. His perspective had shifted. He understood that the reality of his suffering was a trick of the mind, a moment caught in the flow of eternity. Time passed, and the tides of fortune turned once again. The king gathered his loyalists and reclaimed his throne. His name echoed through the streets again. Vincit omnia veritas. The kingdom was more prosperous than ever. The king was hailed as a hero, a savior, and the most powerful ruler of his age. At the peak of the festival, as the cheers reached a deafening roar, the king felt his ego swell. He felt invincible, untouchable, and supremely great. He believed this joy would last forever. He believed he had finally reached the destination where the sun would never set on his glorious and vast empire. But then, the sage appeared by his side. Without a word, he simply pointed to the golden ring resting on the king's finger, sparkling in the sunlight. The king paused. Amidst the music and the wine, he opened the ring once more. He read the same 6 words, "This too shall pass." Suddenly, the intoxicating fire of glory cooled into a steady, gentle light. He realized that this victory too was just a fleeting stop on his journey. Glory is often more dangerous than failure. It clouds the mind with the illusion of permanence, making us forget the humble ground from which we grew. By remembering that success is temporary, the king stayed grounded. He ruled with wisdom, knowing that his duty was to serve the moment, not his ego. He became a bridge between the highs and the lows. Whether in the depths of the forest or the height of the palace, his heart remained still. The story of the king is not just a legend from the past. It is a mirror for our own lives, reflected in the screens and streets today. Are you feeling overwhelmed by the weight of expectations? Does the fear of failure keep you awake at night, making the future seem like a cliffside? Remember the king's ring. This stress, this exam, this moment of doubt, it is moving. It is passing through you like a cloud across the vast sky. Or perhaps you have just achieved a great milestone. You feel the rush of adrenaline and the pride of success filling your chest with a golden light. Don't let the high deceive you into thinking you are better than others. Enjoy the triumph, but keep your feet firmly planted on the earth below. Heartbreak feels like an eternal winter, yet spring always waits behind the frost. Every emotion you feel is a wave that must eventually reach the shore. Nature itself is the greatest teacher of this law. The seasons do not cling to their beauty or their barrenness. They simply flow into one another. When you understand that everything is a pit stop, you stop fighting reality and start dancing with it. You become the observer of your own life's movie. We spend so much time chasing the next big thing or running from the next problem that we forget to simply be present in the now. Letting go of attachment to outcomes is the key to inner peace. Whether you win or lose, your value as a soul remains unchanged and eternal. Enter the garden of your mind. Find the center point where the world's noise cannot reach. This is the place where the king's wisdom truly lives. One drop of sorrow, one drop of joy, they both ripple across the surface of your being. But notice how the water always returns to its stillness. Your life is a masterpiece in progress. Every dark stroke and every bright highlight is necessary to create the depth and beauty of the whole image. True power is not found in controlling the world, but in controlling your reaction to it. Be like the mountain that watches the storms pass by. Don't let the frantic pace of reality deceive you into thinking everything is an emergency. Most things that feel urgent today will be forgotten by tomorrow. Find the beauty in the mundane. A cup of tea, a breath of air, a kind word. These are the real treasures that stay with you. The version of you that suffered is gone. The version of you that succeeded is gone. All that remains is the one who is witnessing this. Rise above the immediate drama. From a higher perspective, the bitter valleys and the glorious peaks are all part of the same magnificent and winding path. We are all travelers on this road together. Sharing the reminder that this too shall pass helps us carry each other through the toughest of nights. In the grand tapestry of the universe, our greatest triumphs and our deepest sorrows are but tiny threads, woven into a pattern of infinite grace. The road ahead may be uncertain, but your heart can be steady. Carry the king's ring in your mind, and you will never truly be lost. Thank you for taking this moment to pause and reflect. May you find the balance to navigate both the shadows and the light with equal courage. Remember, you are not the victim of your reality. You are the master of your awareness. Live fully, love deeply, and let everything else pass. As you move back into your day, hold on to this stillness. Let the world spin as it will, while you remain the calm center of your soul. The footprints of yesterday are washed away by the tide of today. Every moment is a clean slate, a new chance to see the truth. Don't let the past weigh you down or the future pull you apart. The only place where life truly happens is right here, in this breath. We are all searching for the same thing, a peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. And it's closer than you think, hidden within your very heart. Like the lotus, you can grow in the mud of life without being stained by it. Your essence is pure, regardless of the world's changing weather. The story of the king is now your story. The ring is on your finger. The words are in your mind. Go forth with great wisdom. May this realization spread through your life like light, touching every relationship, every task, and every thought with the grace of understanding and true peace. Life is beautiful because it is fleeting. Treasure the blossoms, but do not weep when they fall, for they make way for the fruit to grow. Rest in the knowledge that you are handled by a higher wisdom. Everything is working out for your growth, even the parts that feel like failure. Let your heart be your compass, and the truth of impermanence be your guide. You are stronger and more resilient than you have ever imagined today. Breathe in the truth. Breathe out the illusion. You are here. You are alive. And that is the greatest victory of all, beyond any title. Time is a river, but you are the bank. The water flows past, but you remain. Anchor yourself in the timeless part of your own being. Every day is a new dawn. Every moment is a new chance to wake up from the dream of reality and see the truth of eternity. Walk with grace. Speak with kindness. Think with clarity. The journey is long, but every step is the destination when you are fully present. You contain the whole universe within you. The king, the sage, the forest, and the palace, they are all aspects of your own magnificent soul's journey. The fire of life may burn, but it also warms. Embrace the heat of experience, knowing that you are the one who watches the beautiful flames. The wisdom is now planted in your heart. Let it grow into a great tree of peace that provides shade for yourself and for everyone else. Look at yourself with the eyes of the sage. You are enough. You have always been enough. Everything else is just a story that is passing. As we conclude, carry this peace with you. Reality may try to deceive you, but now you have the eyes to see through the grand illusion. Be the observer. Be the peace. Thank you for watching. And remember, this too shall pass. Until we meet again, stay grounded in your own truth.